Hello students. Today we'll do the first chapter in political science and the name of the chapter is Working of the Constitution. Come to your page number 69 in your textbook. First thing we'll try to understand what you mean by constitution. Constitution from where we get our basic laws or rules of a country, and constitution regards every individual as equal before the law. That's the meaning of your constitution. Now look in your textbook. The textbook of political science till now have helped us to take an overview of local government. We understood what you mean by local government, okay, how government is formed at a local level and what work they do for us. The values and the philosophy of the Indian constitution as also the governing structure created by constitution and India's place in international relations and how our constitution has given us a place in international relation not only with India but also with other countries. The Indian constitution has declared its objective to establish a secular. What do you mean by secular? That all caste, all community are one and the same. We respect all our religion. Democratic republic. Republic means what? A country that has an elected government is called a republic. Also, it has made extremely important provisions to ensure that the citizens, who are citizens, we common people are citizens, get justice and their freedom is protected. We citizens of India should get proper justice and should get freedom. The Indian constitution is seen as a means through which a progressive developed society based on social justice and equality will be established, and we give importance to what? To our social justice and equality. If these two factors are there, justice and equality, then only our country will be a progressive country. The constitution The Constitution came into force on 26 January 1950, and on this day we celebrate a Republic Day, that is 26 January. And since then, the government has been working in accordance with the principles of the Constitution, and our government is following the laws and the rules given by our Constitution. Now, in this chapter, we will take a brief overview of the well ranking nature of Indian democracy, important changes that has taken place. So, we are going to see the working of Indian democracy and what changes it has taken place in the political process and steps that have been taken to establish social justice and equality. The review will primarily focus on three areas, that is democracy. You know what you mean by democracy? A system in which the government of a country is elected by the people. Social justice, everyone deserves equal political and social rights and opportunity. That is called your social justice. Everyone is given equal rights and opportunities. And judiciary system, it means a part of government responsible for legal system. Now, come to first thing, democracy. Now, political maturity. Democracy does not merely imply a representative structure. The essence of representative system is to integrate the principles of democracy. Now see here, democracy does not merely imply a representative structure. It never takes only those people who are representative, but it makes what you feel by democracy. The essence, the beauty, essence means the beauty of representative system is to integrate the principles of democracy in actual practice. So whatever democracy is there, we have to bring into actual practice. We have to follow our democracy. Once this is done, democracy becomes an integral part of the political life of the society. If we follow the true meaning of democracy, then it becomes a part of our society. Accordingly, the Indian people have direct representation. We elect a member, that is called your direct representation. We elect a representative in the parliament, state legislature, and local government, holding free and fair elections at regular intervals is an important indicator. See, we have got elections, and there is no cheating or partiality goes when the elections are taken place. And after every 5 years, that is called intervals. After every 5 years, we have elections. The India's successful democracy. The increasing participation of the people in the political process and political competition shows that Indian democracy has become successful to a great extent. Today we have got a lot of competition in Indian democracy, and this shows that we are having a successful country. Now, what do you mean by right to vote? The Indian constitution had made the provision of right to vote for adults. What means every adult has given the chance of voting. In the pre-independence period, pre means what? Before independence period, several provisions existed which restricted the right to vote. But before independence, some rights were not given for adults to vote. All such provisions were cancelled after independence. Now after independence we have got new laws, new rules, we have got how to elect. After independence, and the Indian constitution guaranteed adult suffrage by giving the right to vote equally to both men and women above the age of 21 years. So this was before that both and women above the age of 21 has got the right of vote. The voting age has later reduced from 21 to 18, but now we have reduced the voting age from 21 to 18. So once you completed the age of 18, you have got the right for voting, which give opportunity of political participation to the younger generation in India. Such provisions have made India the largest democracy in the world, because now we have got more number of voters. So it is the largest democracy. India has largest number of voters compared to any other democratic nation. This change is not only quantitative but also qualitative. So it is not only increase in number of people, but also we have got good quality. As new political parties are emerging with the active support of young voters, these parties represent various expectations of people and compete in political sphere. So today, our Indian people has got lot of expectations from a representative, and they are trying the level best to compete with each other. Next thing, decentralization of democracy. Now, what do you mean by decentralization? That is the transfer of authority from central to the local government. Means decentralization controls the misuse of power and also create opportunity for political participation by the common people. So it means in short the transfer of authority from central to the local government. Decentralization of power is central to democratic government. Decentralization controls the misuse of power and also create opportunities for political participation for the common people. Now, who are common people? We are common people, and now we have got the right for participating in any political issues. The directive principles of state policy include the provision for democratic decentralization. Today we have got something called democratic decentralization. One such important provision is regarding empowering the local self-government, make genuine democratic governments a reality. So today we have to make our democratic government a real scene. After independence, several attempts were made towards democratic decentralization. One such important attempt is the 73rd and 74th Amendment. Now, what do you mean by amendment? A part that is added or a small change that is made to a piece of writing, that is called amendment. Some changes have been made to Indian Constitution, which gives a constitutional status to local self-governing institution and also increase their power. Now, right to information has a title suggests right to information. Today we have got right of informing everything. That's called right to information. Okay. Next topic is right to information, that is RTI. Today we have got full right regarding information. Whatever information you want, you will get it. That is called a right to information. Citizens. Who are citizens? We are citizens. Empowered is the essential condition of democracy. It is necessary to create opportunities for citizens' participation and interaction with the government. Today we have got right for participating and interacting with the government. Increased communication between citizens and government helps in strengthening democracy and in building a relationship of trust between them. So today, we as a citizen, we have got a talk, we can have a talk with the government, and whatever problems are there, we can solve our problems. Citizens have a right to know about the functioning of the government. We have got full right how the government is functioning. The government of India gives a right to information to the citizens of India to ensure transparency. The government of India gives the right to information to the citizens of India to ensure transparency and accountability, which are the hallmarks of good governance. So, if you want a good government, citizens should know how the government is functioning or how the government is working. That is called transparency and accountability. Right to information has made the government more transparent and has reduced the element of secrecy in the working of government. So today nothing is kept secret. Today everything is brought in front of the public. That is called right to information. After the year 2000, the whole approach towards democratic reform has changed. So our today government has completely changed. Democratic reforms are considered as rights of citizens. Accordingly, citizens in India have got right to information, education and food security. So we have got full right for our education and food security. This rights have strengthened democracy in India. Which right? Right to information have strengthened a democracy in India. Now, see in the green color box, right based approach, what it means. In the decades, decade means what? A period of 10 years. It's called a decade. After independence, progress was made towards more and more democratization of India. We were giving democratization means process of becoming a democratic India. However, in this process, citizens were considered as beneficials officials. In the last few decades, development is considered as a right of the citizen. Okay. Come to next para, social justice and equality. Social justice and equality are important objectives of our constitution. You know what you mean by justice and equality? Everybody should be given justice and everyone should get equal right, being in a democratic country. The constitution has given guidelines to establish a new society based on these two values. Which two values? Justice and equality. We are following the path laid down by our constitution to achieve this goal. To establish social justice is to remove those conditions which are responsible for injustice and insist on equality and dignity for all individual. Okay, now whatever injustice happening in our society, try to remove those injustice and come with something called new, that is social justice. Insist on equality of dignity of all individuals. Dignity means what? Respect for all individuals. The principles of justice and equality aim at ending discrimination. Discrimination means what? There should be no distinguish between rich and poor, between male and female. That is called discrimination in social status. Status means your power, your position, whether it is man or whether it is a woman. Such as superior or inferior. There is no superior or there is no inferior. Otherwise, once upon a time, man was considered as superior and woman was considered as inferior. But today, this has been changed. On the basis of caste, no caste is superior or inferior. All caste is one and the same. Religion, language, and gender. So same with religion, same with language, and same with gender. Gender means male or female. Place of birth, where you are born. Okay. Race, property, and giving equality of opportunity for development to every individual. To establish justice and equality, efforts are to be made at all levels of society. But the government efforts and policies on this front are more important. So who have to play important role? The government have to play important role, and the government have to give justice and equality to everyone in a democratic country. For democracy to be inclusive, one must try to bring all sections of society into the mainstream. So today we have to come into a mainstream. We have to have one common goal. Democracy is in fact a process of accommodating different sections of society. Accommodating means what? We have to adjust everybody in a different sections of society. Democracy helps in reducing social conflicts. Conflict means what? We should not have any fights, we should not have any wars, but treat everyone one and the same. Let us take review of efforts made in India in this direction. First one, policy of reservation. Policy of reservation of seat has a title suggests policy of reservation means certain seats should be reserved. That is called policy of reservation of seat. Policy of reservation of seats is meant for those sections of society who have been deprived. Deprived means what? Who have not been any kind of justice of the opportunities for the education and employment for a long period of time. See, take for the example, scheduled caste, scheduled tribe people are not given any justice in the field of education and employment. Accordingly, in educational institution means what? Your schools, your colleges, and in government services, some seats are kept reserved for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. Now, who are scheduled castes and scheduled tribes? They are the people who have been totally deprived and not given any kind of justice. There is also provision of reservation of seats for other backward classes. The scheduled castes and tribes. This is an important act for establishing social justice and equality. This act prevents any injustice against the people belonging to scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, and any act of atrocity committed. Atrocity means what? If these people who belonging to scheduled caste or scheduled tribe are done something, some bad things are done on them, so a certain action should be taken against them is liable for punishment. And those who do something unjust with them, so they are given punishment. Provisions for minorities. The Indian Constitution has made several provisions for the protection of minorities. Today, even minorities should be protected. The government has adopted several policies for minorities to provide them the opportunities for education and employment. The Indian Constitution prohibits discrimination on the basis of caste. Prohibit means what? There should be no discrimination given to these minorities on the basis of caste, religion, race, language, and region. This is a comprehensive provision for minorities which fundamentally protects their rights to equality, freedom, right against exploitation. They should not be cheated, exploitation, and cultural and educational rights. Laws relating to women and provisions for representation. In the post independence period before independence, efforts were made for empowering women. Taking into consideration the problems of women, several policies have been adopted at national and international level. Laws relating to women and provisions for representation means women should be represented in every field. In the post-independence period, that is after independence, efforts were made for empowering women. Women were given lot of importance. Taking into consideration the problems of women, several policies have been adopted at national and international level to remove illiteracy among women. Illiteracy means what? Women should be qualified. They should know how to read and write. Illiteracy among women and to make available opportunities for their development. The right to have now level to remove illiteracy among women. Illiteracy means for those who are not able to read or write or they were not educated. So even women should be educated as compared with men's among women and to make available opportunities and give all opportunities for women for their development, for the women's development. The right to have the right to have an equal share in the property of the father and husband. Dowry Prohibition Act. Dowry prohibition, you know what you mean by dowry? Not to accept anything from girls' parents. That is called Dowry Prohibition Act. Act against sexual harassment. Women should not be harassed. Domestic violence. Domestic violence, some violence between mother-in-law and the woman, daughter-in-law. Some they are called domestic violence. Prohibition Act are some important provisions which create a favorable environment for protection of freedom of women and securing their development. In our country, from the very beginning, women have inadequate representation. Inadequate means what? Before, women were not given any kind of representation in political and political institutions. Many countries in the world have made efforts to increase representation of women. Today we are giving lot of importance to women so they can participate in every field. From this perspective, change are taking place in India as well. The 73rd and 74th Amendment reserve 33% of seats for women in local self-governing institutions. Now the percentage has been raised to 50% in several states including Maharashtra. So today 50% seats are reserved for women in every self-governing institution. A national commission for women has been established. Similar commission also exists at the state level. So to give more importance for women, something is established and that is called a national commission for women. The Act for the Protection of Women Against Domestic Violence is an important step in the direction of democracy. So today there is no more domestic violence. This act underlined the need to protect the dignity. Dignity means self-respect for women and self-esteem of women. This act rejected traditional form of domination and authoritarianism and expanded the scope of Indian democracy to make it inclusive in true sense. So today every woman is given authority and domination in every field. Now, role of judiciary. The judici- Okay. Now, next thing, the role of judiciary. You know what you mean by judiciary? It is a part of government responsible for legal system. The judiciary in India has played an important role in strengthening democracy and helping to make towards achieving the objectives of social justice and equality. So we can get equal rights in this today's judiciary system. While interpreting the provision of the constitution, the judiciary has a national commission. The judiciary has always taken into consideration the fundamental objectives of the constitution and also the intentions of the constitution makers. We will try to understand the contribution of judiciary in this regard with the help of following points. The basic framework of the constitution, how this constitution work, how a judiciary system work. The constitution is dynamic. What do you mean by dynamic? Our constitution keeps on changing. It is a living document. The constitution has to change according to changing conditions, and the parliament has the power to make those changes. So we can bring certain change in our constitution. The judiciary has accepted this power of the parliament to make changes in the constitution, but at same time specified the limitations on this power. Our constitution can make changes, but it has got a limited power. The judiciary has taken a stand that the parliament, while amending the constitution, cannot alter the basic structure of the constitution. Significant of judiciary decision. Significant means what is the importance of judiciary decision. The protection provided to the citizens by fundamental rights in the constitution has made more meaningful through various decisions of judiciary. Some of the important subjects on which the court has given judgment include right of children, protection of human rights, protection of the honor and dignity of women. Honor and dignity means respect for women. Individual freedom. Everybody should get their own freedom. And tribal empowerment. Even tribal, those are living in the forest, interior of the forest, even they should be given certain powers. These efforts have made the political process in India more mature. In this chapter, we took a review of the constitution and the working of the government on the basis of the constitution in the context of Indian democracy. There are many challenges before Indian democracy, but in spite of all these things, we have got many challenges. Government acts and policies have not put an end to all the problems. There are several new problems confronting us. There are many problems which our Indian democracy is facing. However, what is important is that the people in India had developed a democratic mindset, but in spite of all these problems, we have got a democratic mindset and we have to change this mindset. In the next chapter, we will study the election process in India. Okay, student? Hope so. You have understood the lesson. I will give the practice worksheet. Try to solve it. If you are not able to solve, we will discuss in the next class. Thank you.